Right, we're going to have a look at the NASDAQ. This was my idea yesterday. If you caught that, well done. We're going to have a look for another trade opportunity here. This was it, my idea, and we were looking for the break under this volume profile value area, break retest, and we sell. Okay, volume profile value area low. There it is right there. Break and retest. There, we sell. All right, we'll look for another opportunity here. Before I do that, I want to show you something. This is using our indicators. Okay, it dropped. There's your first signal to go short, and then the other signals kicked in down here. Nice. I actually shorted this today based on these signals here in my futures account. So try this for free. And here's something else. If you're into trading gold, well, we've got this gold EA, 2 years of history. It's been really solid. We can connect your account to this for the same price as our VIP membership. So yeah, you take up the join VIP on this page. This one gives you access to Discord, Indicators Mentorship, and the Gold EA. This one over here, well, you get access to everything that with the exception of the EA, and it's 7 days free. So you could try that indicators for 7 days and give yourself this opportunity. So let's get into the analysis for this one. I'll just grab the trading view, record, and let's go. All right, trading view. We are on now. This was my idea yesterday. We're going to have a look for an opportunity here. So that's what I posted yesterday. We were looking for the break under the value area low. So here's the value area low right there. That's from yesterday. VAL. And we're looking for the pullback into it. So we had that right here. So that's where you short. And I mean, that was 7.5 and the rest, if you, depending on where you closed. But so what we're going to do now is we're going to look for another opportunity. This is range bound. All right, so let's just take out that other volume profile. Now we've got this. So we include an anchored volume profile, and I'm going to show you how I do this. I pick up the high and the low of the current range, and you can see that it started there. So I'm going to anchor my volume profile precisely on that candle right there. All right, and that gives us its current range. So where to from here? Well, this is value. So it's trading from that low to the high to the low to the high to the low, probably back up to the high, who knows. But when it finally breaks out of here, similar to back up in here, right, you had this. So I'll just show you, like, even if you just pull the volume profile from this area across, see how you get the high and the low of this value, and you got the these nodes. All right, so when it breaks out of value and retests, it's going into price discovery. So rather than just wiggling up and down in the range, you go to price discovery, next range, possibly short, next range. Right, so I'm always looking for this, a high and the low of the range, where it's going to be wiggling up and down. And at some stage you get a breakout of the range and it goes into price discovery. All right, and same thing back up in here. The higher the range, lower the range, it breaks out. Delete. All right, so now we've got this range. I'd even go down to a 15-minute chart. So now it's the Asian session. I've already traded this today through the Asian session. I've just been trading the range from the high to the low on my futures account. So what we look for here, and you've got to be really careful with this, because what can happen is it can break out of the range like it did here, but it doesn't continue up, comes back into it, breaks out, comes back into it. It could break under and then come back into it. So that's the thing, right? So you've got to know how to get involved when it breaks, if it breaks under the range, right? And there's a way to do this, and I like the 5-minute chart, to be honest. But on a 15-minute chart, you'll want to wait for right? If it's going to be bearish, it goes into, okay, lower high, lower low, lower high. I want to see a lower low, pullback, but maybe two of them, because that first pullback could pull it back into the range, right? So this is trading the range, right? Range bound value area. So now it's going back into this value range. That's the risk. So if we were to sell here, yeah, and if it trades back into the range, what you want to do then is delete, cancel your trade, and then trade it back up, look for the high. All right, hope that makes sense. So again, if it breaks back into the range, then you look for that. The best bet is lower high, lower low, lower high, and then the next one, and that's your break of market structure there. And it's getting in a little bit late, but you can take the risk and you can take that first breakout if you like. All right. So that's the risk. You risk it coming back in. So here, if it broke out, you'd want to wait for the next move, and then that's your opportunity there to get long, right? And then you have a better choice of avoiding that. The other thing you can do with this is grab a anchored VWAP and throw it on that previous high, and then if it pulls up and creates another high, throw another VWAP on that. And you want to stay under the VWAPs. You're not always going to get away with it. I mean, like if you were looking to buy on that breakout, you would throw a VWAP down in here, and then you'd throw another one in on this low here. Yeah, that's a bit tricky because it broke out of VWAP, so it's not always going to keep you out of trouble. Anyway, I'm looking for this to break out, possibly short. Don't want to make this a long-winded video. But yeah, I mean, that's it, guys. So if it does that, we go short, and if it breaks above, that's a possible buy opportunity there. All right, so I would look to buy on that, and I'd look to sell on that. Sell. Yeah, I'm thinking we might drop down lower, but we'll see. I mean, on the higher time frame, this is starting to look like it wants to, trend, but we don't know yet. Okay, just got to follow price action. Okay, guys, that's my take on the NASDAQ. Love it if you comment. Let me know what you think. And with that, we'll see you in the next one.